7 News, late edition, with Naomi Robson.
Hundreds of Compass airline passengers delayed by a business wrangle. And the Cabinet gathers for Canberra's leadership showdown. And later, the struggle facing Moscow, 15 days from the end of the Soviet Union. But first, angry airline passengers were stranded at Sydney and Melbourne tonight when Compass flights were delayed. The problem? A dispute over leasing arrangements. Federal Transport Minister John Kerrin has just issued a statement reassuring customers that flights are now back to normal. More from Simon Breer.
The airport PA announced a delay of 1 hour on the Compass flight scheduled from Melbourne to Perth tonight, then a further update.
We have to announce that the aircraft is just about to leave Sydney and is due into Melbourne until after 10:30.
The aeroplane for the Melbourne leg was still on the ground in Sydney, making the flight 2 hours late. An earlier Compass flight took off from Melbourne after some delay. At the check-in counter, it was business as usual, with passengers simply told some delays could be expected. The long wait and lack of information angered many waiting in the departure lounge.
You're not happy, I guess?
No, not very.
I'm just worried about our friends waiting for us back in Perth. I think they'll be annoyed more than we are.
Those are the problems of cheap fares. Perhaps the moral of the story is pay full fare.
However, a short time ago, a Compass spokesman confirmed that there was a commercial dispute this evening between Compass and two of the companies it holds leases with.
This evening we have had a dispute between Compass and two of its lessors regarding the lease of aircraft, but in a very short period of time that dispute's been resolved and the airline's not now operating normally.
The dispute, which caused some delays to flights in Melbourne, also caused problems in Sydney. Simon Breer, 7 News, late edition.
Federal Labor politicians are bracing themselves for another day of leadership tension tomorrow. The list of defections from the Hawke camp is growing, with Junior Transport Minister Bob Brown and West Australian Ron Edwards tonight switching support to Paul Keating. As Dennis Grant reports, caucus is expected to meet before the weekend.
Tonight at the Lodge, the deeply divided caucus paused for Christmas drinks, with the leader that maybe half want to hand in the house key. Notably declining the Christmas cheer, Paul Keating. But the pro-Hawke camp turned up.
Queenslanders are staying firm.
The government in the grip of a policy paralysis. Ministers unable to get any other message across. The focus fixed firmly on the leadership.
Another important issue is clearly the leadership.
One question, weren't we?
Senator John Button caused a stir. He fell ill jogging to work and was rushed to hospital for tests. But given the all clear, he was back in the Senate facing questions on his planned meeting with Bob Hawke.
Mr. President, the answer to the first part of the question is yes. I had a chat with the Prime Minister last night.
But revealed nothing.
And I have nothing to say about that matter.
So the opposition set a loyalty test for ministers.
I am not seeking to disloyally overturn him, so I don't need to answer the rest of the question.
But the big Defence Minister, Senator Robert Ray, gave a history lesson on the Liberals' leadership turmoil, ending with this.
The answer is you'll never find out yet stuff.
But later, defending the government from an opposition attack, Senator Button frankly conceded the mess the government is in.
Right now, the proverbial brown dog could defeat the Hawke government. I agree with that. I agree with that. If we had an election tomorrow, we'd be beaten.
Perhaps because of those comments, Keating supporter John Dawkins was shepherding Senator Button to the Lodge party tonight.
Don't upset him.
Even in the depths of a leadership crisis, the boys will be boys.
He's quite all right. He's doing very well.
He's a very garrulous man.
So tomorrow could see a showdown. The Keating camp would like Mr. Hawke to go quietly, but he won't. The Prime Minister will demand his ballot. No dignity, perhaps, but much determination. In Canberra, Dennis Grant, 7 News, late edition.
Police are tonight closely checking details of the alleged abduction of Gold Coast entertainer Fairly Arrow. After her release last night, she claimed she was kept prisoner by an unknown man, but police are doubting her story. Neil McLean has the details.
When Fairly Arrow walked into a press conference at 2 this morning, she could shed little light on her captor.
I've got no idea who it was. I was blindfolded the majority of the time. No idea.
Several hours earlier, the hunt for the 27-year-old singer ended when 2 motorists found her bound and dumped beside Benogan Road at Mudgeeraba. The singer said it was the only time she feared for her life.
Especially when he took me out of the car on the road, I really thought that was it. I thought he was going to do something.
She claims since being snatched from her Isle Capri home on Sunday night, she'd been tied to a bed, but was not sexually assaulted. Today, the singer-dancer was back in the spotlight, denying the events of the last 2 days were an elaborate hoax.
I mean, I don't blame people if they have scepticism about it, but at the moment, their scepticism is not my problem. I mean, I'm not doing this for anything except my benefit to try and find out who's after me.
But a number of questions surrounding her disappearance remain unanswered. Despite being captive for 2 days, she can provide no description of her abductor. Ms Arrow's credibility came under heavy fire when it was revealed she'd been involved in setting up a security company on the Gold Coast. The business, which was due to start on Monday, specialises in attacks, break-ins and prowlers.
Police and community leaders in Geraldton fear an angry backlash tonight after the latest Aboriginal death in custody. As Howard Gretton reports, 21-year-old Daryl Cameron was found hanged in a police cell. 3 years ago, his brother's death in custody sparked violent riots.
Daryl Leedham Cameron was on remand at the Greenock prison after being arrested a week ago in his hometown of Meekatharra. He was due to appear in the Geraldton court tomorrow to face a charge of assault. Apparently, there were no warning signs of what was to happen. Prison officers found Daryl Cameron hanging from his cell window. They cut him down and attempted to revive him while calling for an ambulance, but there was nothing anybody could do. In July 1988, Daryl Cameron's brother, Edward Charles Cameron, was found hanged in the Geraldton police lockup. His funeral sparked a street riot by Aborigines in the town, which soured police-Aboriginal relations.
At the time of the first death, there were some suspicious circumstances. In this death, there is no indication at this stage, anyway, that there are any suspicious circumstances at all.
In fact, locals are angry about some media reports this morning. They fear that trouble might be stirred.